Floor is yours, Coach. Coach Tommy Jones at Dacula. And privileged the opportunity to be able to discuss our football program for the coming year. I feel even more blessed and privileged to be able to represent Dacula here today. A little bit about my story. I actually had the privilege to coach at Dacula when I first started in high school coaching in years 2000 and 2001, those two seasons. Was able to venture away, and then in good providence able to come back and be at Dacula again as a head football coach this year. Real excited about what's going on at Dacula, the opportunity that we have. Feel like we've got a group of fantastic young men. We've got a great, tremendous community, and we feel like that the potential is definitely there for the Dacula football program. We've been really trying to ascribe to a one day at a time philosophy, not looking too far ahead, not looking towards our schedule at all. I think Coach Connor spoke just a few minutes ago, and it makes a lot of sense that we really want to get better one day at a time and focus on Dacula and how Dacula can be. And that's been our approach really since we started back in March. As a program, just really believing that we take care of ourselves first, and we worry about everybody else later. From a staff perspective, very blessed with a great administration that has given us the ability to put together a staff. Offensively, able to bring in 2 or 3 guys. From an offensive perspective, we're going to be just a multiple I formation football team. Try to run a little bit of option in our multiple I game. Spread the field when we need to. I wouldn't call us a spread team by any stretch of the imagination, but hopefully be able to when we need to. From a defensive perspective, we'll be a 3-4 football team, which will be a little bit of a transition for Dacula, both offensively and defensively, from a scheme-wise from the past couple of years. Special teams-wise, we return both our kicker and our punter, our long snapper as well, so we feel good about that. From an offensive perspective, kind of heading back to the offensive side of the football, we feel like we're fortunate to have a number of young guys that got experience last year, which is always a good thing. Particularly up front on the offensive line, a guy to my right here, Vance Coleman, was a starter last year on the offensive line, along with Brandon Ake, and then Dallas Hadley, as well as Will Arrington and Joey Ratowski, all got considerable playing time as well. And anytime you bring back guys that have a little bit of playing time on that side of the football, particularly up front, I think that's always a positive, and that's a highlight. The quarterback position right now is still wide open. We've got a couple of guys that are competing for the quarterback position, Aaron Grove as well as Chris Warner. In our offense, our fullback is an important part of our offense. We've got a couple guys that are rotating there. Bijan Sirleaf, as well as Lawson Cook. Jake Brashear could also spend some time there. Our tailback position will most likely be split between C.J. Mays as well as Jake Brashear as well. And Kevin Ficklin will see some time there. Receiving-wise, we have Zentavius Cobb, who is a returning starter as a receiver. We also, in our slot position, have Keelan Fraze and Jock Evangelista, who both saw some pretty extensive time last year as well. A tight end would be Josh Lovett, who's a returning starter and a college prospect as well. Defensively, like I said, we've gone to an odd or a 3-4 scheme. We've got a group of guys, particularly in our secondary, that return with some experience. We were fortunate enough to play some younger kids last year. Bryce Bartlett to my left is one of those guys. We also have Kevin Ficklin, C.J. Mays, who will get some time on offense as well. Jock Evangelista will play in that secondary. They got a good amount of time last year, which is exciting to bring back guys that have some experience. Probably some new fresh faces at the linebacker position. Jake Brashear will be our Mike. Azim Cooper will be our will. From an outside linebacker perspective, we've got a returning starter, Nick Malika, and then Lawson Cook will be the other outside linebacker as well. Up front, Bijan Sirleaf was a linebacker last year. He's going to move to the nose guard position. He's an extremely explosive young man, and we think can give us an advantage there, as well as at the defensive end position we have C.J. Brady, Jordan Sanders, as well as Markel Clark, who lost split time at that position. Once again, our kids just couldn't be any more pleased with the effort that our players have given us this summer. It has been a great summer. In fact, we're just kind of flying back right now. I mean, we drove down from West Georgia. We've been in camp for the past 3 or 4 days and are making it back right now. I feel like we had a very good camp at a team camp there. And again, we just feel like we've had a really good summer. So we're looking forward. Told our players we don't make projections. We just try to take it one day at a time and make sure we're getting better. And definitely the excitement, the enthusiasm, and the intensity level is very high around Dacula football right now.
And I'm Bryce Bartlett, defensive back and wide receiver, about to be a senior. Coach Jones has brought this team back up from a difficult season we had last year. We went 1-9, had a really young team last year, and now we have experience, and this summer has been going good. Weight room has been going, pushing it really hard, never slowing down, and practice has been learning new things each and every day. And the team, we're just a lot more closer, very mature now, a lot more than last year. And every day we just keep on getting better and better and pushing each other, whether it's running, working out, doing drills on the field. And we just take each rep to the max, and we go by a slogan of one team, one heartbeat, one rep, and we just keep on pushing it and never stop.
Hey, I'm Vance Coleman. I'll be a rising senior as well. As Coach Jones said, I'll play on the offensive line. Just feel really blessed the situation we have, with the new coaches and everything, and the opportunity to play in Gwinnett County. It's a great thing, and really like what we've been doing as a team, working hard, and really excited for the season coming up. It's going to be a fun year.
Questions?
You talked a little bit about how basically a new offensive, new defensive scheme. How quickly can you really expect the kids to be able to grasp this, and how do you feel like it's been going so far? We have really only had spring to work with it. Is that a big concern heading into the fall?
Always a big concern. I mean, I think any time that you install a new scheme on either side of the ball, but when you're doing it on both sides of the ball, you feel a little bit like you're swimming upstream. You're always playing catch up, and you can't quite get there. And I think another factor that goes into it with Dacula is that we are one of the smaller schools in 6A, and we do have a lot of kids that have to play on both sides of the ball. So we're not just asking them to learn something new offensively, but we're also asking them to learn something defensively as well. I will say that we've been blessed with a great coaching staff. I think the men that we have on our coaching staff are great teachers. They understand the importance and the value of systematically installing an offense and systematically installing a defense. We also have great kids, and they're there. They are at practice every single day. They're working hard, and they're making it a priority to pick it up. But obviously, yes, there are concerns anytime you install, and I think what you try to do whenever you install a new scheme is you try to make sure you don't get too far ahead of yourself, and you make sure that you're good at something as opposed to being average at a whole lot of different things.
Ask a question. question, Coach, just going back kind of to the Brookwood days by analogy, when Coach Hunter came in, that was a year after Brookwood had gone 1-9.
Sure.
And I know, having been there, the first thing that he changed when he came in was attitude. If coming in to Dacula, what was the first thing that you identified and felt like you needed to fix at Dacula coming off the 1-9 season?
Sure. I mean, I think one of the things that we're trying to do is obviously anytime you have a new coaching staff, you want to install a new culture. And concerning the culture that we're trying to install, we really want to, we think it's very important that there is and I think Bryce alluded to it. We want to take a one day at a time approach. We want to make sure that our players realize that every single thing that they do is important. Every rep, every practice, every day, every drill, that there's nothing that's not important. But also that one kind of crosses over and signifies that we want to be unified as well. And I think that there is an important concept when you establish a new culture, that unity is extremely important in that. And but I can't say good enough things about the way that our players work. I mean, they work extremely hard. Their work ethic is definitely there. But you try to change the culture. Yeah, you want to make sure that that Dickie May, who's the defensive coordinator at Buford, when we worked together at Dacula before, he used to say that when players love players and players love coaches and coaches love coaches and coaches love players, you're set up for lots of success. And I think if there's anything in the culture of Dacula, inside the Dacula football program, is we're trying to instill that kind of mentality.